On today's episode of Tax Insights, Jeff explains a new rule for 2024 that affects LLC and similar businesses. These entities must file beneficial ownership information with the government by December 31st to avoid hefty penalties. This filing is typically a one-time requirement unless changes occur within the business. Tune in to learn how this new regulation could impact your business and ensure you stay compliant.
There's always deadlines, it feels like, for individuals or businesses. And that's kind of what, today's reminder is for those LLCs out there. They have until the end of the year, if I remember correctly, Jeff, to register. We talked about this, I think, back in November, but there's a lot of things that LLCs have to do to stay compliant, I guess.
Right, because there's a new rule that was effective as of this year, 2024. And it's called the beneficial ownership information. And I know we've sent a lot of information out to our clients on this. And like you said, we talked about this back in November. But it's really important that, most LLCs, partnerships, corporations, and other things really make sure that they get this filing done, because it's a first-year filing and it's really can be a one-time filing unless you have changes.
Sure. Now, what happens if you don't file on time? I would imagine that there are just some warnings that you get, right? A little slap on the wrist, no big deal kind of stuff.
Just like with anything else with the IRS, there are penalties. And yeah, Terry, you and I talked before the show started here. The penalties are actually really high. I mean, they're like $500 a day, and it can be up to $10,000 for not doing this. And that can be applied to even like a little small, mom and pop LLC, anything.
Yeah, that's why it is important for people to understand the law and understand what's going on, and why, you guys are the experts in this, because if someone has an LLC and they don't follow these rules, they could get hit with a substantial fine, like you were saying.
That's right. And maybe we should talk a little bit about kind of what companies have to do this.
Sure, please do so, because I would imagine that there are some rules to the exception.
There are. So, any company that's really called a reporting company has to file with FinCEN. And FinCEN is part of the Department of Treasury, but it's the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. So that's the part of the government that you're working with here on filing these reports. And like I said before, it's everything from LLCs, LLPs, corporations, others. Let's say that you own, a second house and you just decide to put it in an LLC just because you want to protect it. That one has to be filed, or you could be subject to the penalty. And it has to be filed here before the end of the year. You have a drop dead due date of December 31st of 2024 for any entities that were around in 23. But if you have an entity that you just started in 2024, you basically have 90 days from the time you started that entity to get this thing filed. So it's really important that people get that done.
Yeah. And that's, again, why I always point people, hey, it is important to surround yourself with experts. And you guys are the experts in this, because you can help people, first off, understand the rules, and also, I would imagine, help them to actually file, correct?
Right. So we're working with clients on actually doing the filing for them. But we're also working with them if they want to do the filing themselves, because they can go right to the website. And if you do beneficial ownership information, you'll see the FinCEN website and to be able to do that. But we are also assisting clients on doing this.
Jeff, great information, great reminders for our listeners. How would they reach out to you and the team of experts at Hawkins Ash?
I would go to our website, which is hawkinsash.cpa, and I would go to that CPA HQ section where we can give you excellent financial tips.